Well, if you've lost yourself in the pages of your favorite book, laughed or cried with the characters in a novel, and taken an adventure around the world without leaving your armchair, well, then you've been inspired by those people called authors.
Yeah, and in case you didn't know, today is Authors' Day, which is dedicated to those who use their pens to craft stories that capture our imagination. But we know that making it as an author in South Africa is not easy. In fact, it's damn difficult.
It's very difficult, which is why we haven't written a book yet. Okay. Well, to discuss the challenges, we're joined by publishing phenomenon and author of the incredibly popular Hlomu series. That's Dudu Busani-Dube. Dudu, welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dudu. Thanks for taking time out. I hope we didn't bring you here while you had to leave some manuscript somewhere.
While you were in the middle of a lovely plot.
No,
yes.
no.
Okay.
Tell us about your stories. What are the stories you tell before we go on to what it is like to be an author? You've brought us 3 books. We've mentioned some titles. What are those stories?
Okay. I brought 3. There's one missing. It's currently sold out.
Oh, well, that's good news.
And also I'm not sure about the publishing phenomenon thing because I only publish my books. I haven't taken other authors.
Well, we'll tell you why we think it's a phenomenon.
Why we think it's a phenomenon, yes.
Okay.
So tell us about your stories.
So my stories are basically just about, and I guess that's why they're so popular. They're just about us. They're about love. They're very South African. They're mostly about black people, black families, black love, marriage, and just coming of age. And they're very focused on women and women's issues. So it's I think because everybody can find themselves in them. That's that is why they're a phenomenon.
When does your journey begin? I understand your journey started at high school. Tell us about that.
It didn't really start in high school. In high school, that is where I found out that I could write. My story is a story of a great teacher who paid attention and focused and asked me to write something. And after I wrote it, sang my praises and said, "You're good at this. Go do it. Go find something to do that has to do with
writing." But before you put it on paper, before you write, it must be something in your head. So I'm sure you've got a fertile, wonderful imagination.
Lots of stories, voices.
I do. Well, at that time, I didn't know I could write. She actually told me I could write. I was more of a reader, and I did write, but I wasn't serious about it. So it's, I think, writing is based mostly on talent, especially if you write fiction. It's it's either you can or you cannot.
Yeah.
Now, she's also had some challenges, and this is why we talk about she's a phenomenon, right? You've had some challenges getting these works published and getting them out there. Tell us.
I had, I'm self-published, so I did all the work myself. And I can't say that the publishing industry rejected me because I didn't try, but also
that's why we say you're a phenomenon.
Yeah,
because you've taken it from yourself from day one.
No, well, I knew what I was trying to do, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be accepted. But eventually, I just decided, okay, let me just do it because when I was writing, I didn't have a plan. So it just succeeded. Like I don't really have a thing that I can.
Most times you hear that you can write a book, you have to get somebody to edit and check and get a publishing. Then there's a distribution and stuff. I mean, how do you do all of that?
Look, putting a book together is doable if you have the funds and you've done your research and you know what you have to do and the legalities that come with it. But if you're self-published, the headache is the distribution because you're not going to walk into an exclusive books and say, I have a book, sell it here. They're not going to do that. So that is the biggest challenge. It was with me as well. It took me a year, even though my books were doing so well and I was selling them from the boot of my car, people were buying them. It took a year for me to have my book in a bookstore.
Well, you are now considering, or have you started already your own publishing business? And I'd like to know what your advice would be to other young authors or even older authors who are starting out.
Yeah, I have.
Going. Yeah.
I have, and for me, it's mostly about protecting my work and just containing it in one place. But I would say to somebody who wants to own their creative work, get an intellectual property lawyer, get somebody to advise you, learn the legalities, and keep your work in one place.
Yeah, Dudu, we're just running out of time. Next time we're going to have you here. We'll be talking about your TV series. I understand there's some production thing happening in the background.
Well, she was the last to know about it.
we don't have time. We don't have time now. But thank you very much for coming.
Wonderful.
You are truly an inspiration.
Can't wait to read these stories.
I'm going to be delving into them. I'm going to go and buy them. But
She didn't say she's giving them to us.
No,
she
no.
might take
I
them
said
back.
I'm going to go and buy
Okay, go.
them.
Yeah, you buy. I will
Send
buy
them for
them.
display.
Wonderful.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Dudu.
That's
Thank
Dudu
you so
Busani-Dube, and she's the author of the incredibly popular Hlomu series.